students. As per your request, today I am going to teach about the endocrine system. What is endocrine system? Endo means what? Within, and crine means to secrete. So endocrine system is a system which controls the body function through the secretion of hormone. And this endocrine system is composed of a number of glands, and that glands are composed of a specialized tissues. If the glands are composed of a specialized tissues, then what is organ? Because organs are also composed of a specialized tissues. What is the difference between an organ and a gland? Generally, the organs are composed of a specialized tissues, but it do not produce any kind of secretion or hormones. Whereas the glands produce the hormones for smooth functioning of our organs. Now, there are three types of glands are there. One is your exocrine. Then second one is your endocrine. Third one is your exoendocrine. Exoendocrine. So there are three types of glands. First of all, we will discuss about the exocrine. Exo means what? What do you mean by exo? Exo means, endo means in. Exo means out. Crine means to secrete. So exocrine means the gland which secretes the hormone outside of the target organ or outside of the organ, and it secretes the hormone, and that hormones are reached near the target organ through the vessels. Here I will do one diagram so that you can understand clearly. Suppose this one is your exocrine gland. Exocrine gland. And this one is your target organ. So here is your exocrine gland and here is your target organ. Then how the secretion or how the hormone which is secreted by this exocrine gland is reached near the organ? Through a duct or through a vessels. So what is exocrine gland? The exocrine glands are the gland which secretes the hormone, and that hormones are carried by the vessels to the target organ. This is known as exocrine gland. One example I want to give you. Suppose your salivary gland. Generally, where the salivary glands are present? Near this neck, two sides of our gland. Your thyroid glands. So, this salivary glands secretes the saliva, and the saliva, which one is your target organ of this saliva? Buccal cavity or mouth cavity. So, here the salivary glands is present, then how the saliva reaches near the mouth or buccal cavity? Obviously, through the duct. So, this is known as your exocrine gland. Now comes to know about the endocrine gland. Generally, the endo means within, or the endocrine glands are generally placed. This one is your endocrine glands and this one is your blood vessels. So the endocrine glands, whatever they are secretes or whatever hormones they are secretes, that directly pour inside the blood vessel. It pours inside the blood vessels. This is known as your endocrine gland. That means in endocrine glands there is no requirement of any vessels or any duct. That's why it is known as ductless gland. Generally, the endocrine glands are known as ductless glands because it does not require any type of glands or any types of duct for carrying the hormones. Next one is your exoendocrine gland. What is exoendocrine? Exo means the gland which carries both the exocrine as well as endocrine gland. That is known as exoendocrine gland. The best example is your pancreas. You know the pancreas, generally this one is your pancreas. Here the pancreas is present. Wait. Here the pancreas is present and here the stomach is present. We know that the pancreas generally produces or secretes the pancreatic juice. And that pancreatic juice are poured in the stomach so that this pancreatic juice helps for the digestion of food. If the pancreas is present here and stomach is present here, then how that pancreatic juice reaches near the stomach? Through this pancreatic duct or through the duct or vessels. That's why we can say that it is a exocrine gland. Now, how it is endocrine gland? Endocrine glands means here or inside the pancreas some cells are present, and that cells are also secretes the hormone. And here you can see that through the blood vessel, and this cells which is whatever they are secretes, that is poured inside the bloodstream directly. That's why we can say that it is also have an endocrine gland. So we can say that the pancreas have both exocrine as well as endocrine gland. Understood? Now, the pancreas have three type of cell. This pancreas have three types of cell. One is your alpha cell. One is your beta cell. And another one is your delta cell. Three types of cell: alpha cell, beta cell and delta cell. What is alpha cell? Generally, the alpha cell produces or secretes the hormone glucagon. This alpha cell produces the hormone glucagon. And beta cell produces the hormone insulin. Whereas delta cell produces the hormone somatostatin. The three cells produce three types of hormones. One by one we will read about the function of these three types of hormone. First one is your glucagon. What is the work of or what is the function of this glucagon? Generally, glucagon is a hormone which is present inside our body, which has to convert the glycogen again into the glucose. Before knowing about this definition, we have to know what is glycogen so that you can understand better. You know, we are eating so much of food and that foods are utilized by that foods are converted into glucose, and some of the glucose are utilized by our body, and remaining or unused glucose where it is. Generally, that unused glucose are converted into glycogen. So whatever the unused glucose are converted into glycogen, this glucagon, whenever our body requires glucose or energy, at that time this glycogens or when this glucagon stimulate the liver, and the liver converted this glycogens to again glucose. Understood? Again I am repeating. We are or the food is converted into glucose, some of glucose are utilized by our body and some of glucose are remains the same inside our body or stores inside our cell. So how it stores? That unused glucose are stored in the form of glycogen. So whenever our body require more energy, at that time this glucagon stimulated our liver to convert the glycogen again into glucose. Now next comes to know about the insulin. What is the work of insulin? We all hear about the insulin because insulin nowadays is a common word. In every home you can see one diabetes patient. So insulin is a common word. What is the work of insulin? Generally the insulin maintains the sugar level in our blood or in our blood stream. Whenever if the insulin is absent, at that time the sugar level will increase. How? Generally this insulin helps for or stimulate the liver to convert the glucose into glycogen. If the insulin will absent, then what will happen? The liver will not stimulate and the glucose remains same. If the glucose remains same, then the glucose level of the sugar or level of the glucose will increase in our body. So if the insulin is absent in our body or if the insulin is less in our body, then the sugar level will increase inside our blood stream. Due to this insulin, if the insulin will more, that will create a disease. If the insulin will less, that will also create one disease. If the insulin is more, that condition is known as hyper secretion. If in case of hyper secretion, what will happen? It leads to the insulin shock. And if the insulin will less, that condition is known as hyposecretion, and in that condition it will lead to the diabetes mellitus. Now what will happen in diabetes mellitus? Whenever the patient will suffer in diabetes mellitus, generally they will the more amount of urea will pass through the urine. So frequent urination will occur, and as a result the patient will feel more thirsty. Whereas in insulin shock, what will happen? Hyper means high amount of insulin will create. Whenever high amount of insulin will create, it will convert more amount of glucose into glycogen. If all the time the glucose will converted into glycogen, then what amount of glucose is utilized by our body? At that time the patient will feel tired. So this is all about your pancreas, which is both exo and endocrine gland. In next period we will read about the other types of glands. So thank you. Have a nice day.